but luckily no casualties. Do you know the type of weapon they use for this? Which types of artillery is used? It varies. Well, they almost can't reach the city. They do use S-300 and also the X-101 and X-59 and the Caliber missiles. But when we talk about the villages next to the front line, they use multiple launch rocket systems and artillery. So overall, what's your assessment of the destructions? If you can give us some figures. Throughout the whole period, well, we have 1,600 civilian casualties, and 11 of them were children. We have damaged infrastructure, almost 11,000 of them are damaged, and 7,150 are residential buildings, including high rises. So we had quite a serious damage in Mykolaiv city the day before yesterday, because there were about 10 S-300 rockets and they all have hit some buildings. What is the situation with the critical infrastructure? Is there electricity and water and natural gas supply? When we talk about critical infrastructure, unfortunately, there are issues with water supply in 95 settlements, mostly in Bashtanka and Mykolaiv rayons, where there's combat activity. But otherwise, it's all working. We didn't take much damage, and all the local damage is being repaired. Vitaliy, we know that in the Oblast you've been organizing quite a lot of counter-saboteur activities. Can you share the result of those? Yeah, we get the result daily. Like yesterday, we apprehended a person, and the day before also a person who was trying to find the HIMARS location in the region and report it to the enemy. So we keep doing these measures. Some of them are planned, some of them are out of plan, so the activity is going on. But the occupiers do have some network of contacts. Dear colleagues, if you have any question. Victoria Nakonichna from Ukraine Forum. I will have a few questions and I will start asking them one by one. What do you know about the project to provide mobile boilers to the villages in the areas of combat? Thank you for the question. We have submitted the request. We do need some mobile boiler houses and diesel generators so that we would be able to provide heating. Besides the boilers, there are issues when the infrastructure is destroyed. This is in bigger cities. In smaller cities, we're fine with diesel generators. You've mentioned S-300 that were used for shelling Mykolaiv, but we've heard from the military that they have destroyed some of their launch facilities of S-300. Do you think the shelling will keep at the same level? Well, in these 204 days of the war, we had 29 days without shelling, and out of those, 6 days happened in the last 2 weeks, after some of the S-300 launch pads were destroyed. But the Russians do have some in reserve, and they bring them. We've heard about the liberation of Kiselivka and the water supply from Dnipro to Mykolaiv has been damaged there. Have you started the repairs? This information is not true. Kiselivka is still in the gray zone, and the combat still goes on for Kiselivka. And the last question. Is there any progress in bringing Mykolaiv ports under the aegis of this grain agreement? Because it has been discussed previously. Unfortunately, we can't join the grain agreement as we are too close to the combat area. So we can only talk about this when the combat line will change significantly to our favor. Vitaliy, thank you. Thank you for joining our broadcast. Dear colleagues, I would like to remind you that the next briefing will start at 2:30. We'll have Dmytro Sivchenko, the head of Beryaslav Raion Council, and we'll talk about the current and humanitarian situation in Davydiv Brid village in Kherson Oblast. Stay with us. We'll keep working to our joint victory.